evening, everyone. I'll be making some pumpkin soup with chicken neck and corn. I have my corn boiling in the pot, and I have my pumpkin here, which I'm taking off the skin. And I season my chicken neck with Maggi bouillon and sprinkle a little, not much, a little black pepper on it. So it's sitting there and it's absorbing the season. All right, and I have my pimento that I'm going to put in the pot while it's boiling with the chicken neck and some garlic. Later on, I'll put my scallion and thyme and all of that. I'll be using chocho, Irish potato, sweet potato, and 2 carrots in my pumpkin soup. And I'm going to do a little spinach. Nothing too fancy, just a regular pumpkin soup with chicken neck and corn. Okay, guys? When you're doing your pumpkin soup, make sure you put your chicken neck that is seasoned in the boiling water and the corn and your pumpkin at the same time in the water that is boiling. Okay? And then you cover. You can put your garlic in at the same time as well, and the pimento seed, so they all boil gradually. Okay, guys? I cut up my pumpkin this size, so when it boils, it's easy to crush, because some pumpkins, they are very dry and more like a food like, you know, it's very, you know, what I mean when I say dry pumpkin. It's not, you have some pumpkin that is very soft and slushy, but this one is very dry. So when it is cooked, I'm just gonna crush it, because it's gonna take a while to boil out. So I'm just gonna take them up, crush it while it dissolves in the pot. Okay, so my corn is in the pot, my chicken neck, as you see, and garlic and the pimento seeds. Yeah, and I'm gonna simmer my pot now. Okay, I'm peeling my Irish potato, and I'm putting it, let it sit in some water, and then I'm gonna peel my chocho and add it to the water as well, and the carrot in the water.
Why do you put it in the water?
Because you don't want it to change color. You don't want it to get red. So you just peel it, put it in the water, so when you're ready to use it, and it will wash away whatever starch that comes when you peel it. If you notice on the knife, you see the whiteness, that's the starch. So when I peel it, I cut them up, not big, because you're just making regular soup. So I cut them, dice them in cubes. Oh, it's cut me. So my chocho, I'm gonna peel my chocho. I normally run a little water over my chocho when I'm peeling it, because some chocho, when I was back home and peel chocho, it leaves a little stain in the hand and it's hard to come out. So what I normally do, I run a little water while I peel it, so while I'm peeling it, that starch is washing off, so it won't have that stickiness onto your hand. so you have to scrub your hands afterwards. So I just run a little water while peeling, so it won't leave that stain on your hand. When you peel the chocho, the middle part, this part need to get out. You need to take it out of your chocho. You don't cook it with it. You just take it out and you peel your chocho. Get the skin off. Alright, I'm gonna cut up my chocho.
Why don't you use a cutting board? Or you're just so used to using your hand?
Well, yeah. Sometimes I can't really bother with the cutting board right now. I'm trying to do it very fast. And you know, when you come in hungry and I make like a soup, you know, I'm bother with no cutting board right and you just want to get it done with. Just a whop up something. That's how we call it, you know, whop up something.
You run a boat?
I run a boat. I'm peeling my carrot. I have a carrot peeler, so I'm just using it to peel my carrots. If you don't have a peeler and you don't want to, you can just use a knife and just scrape it and get off that outer skin. So you can either use peeler or your knife. Whatever you have, you make use of it. If you can't afford a peeler, don't worry about it. Use your knife and just get that skin off, wash it off, cut it up, put in with your rest of stuff, and have your prep your stuff so you have it when you're ready. All right, cool. I'm making my spinners. This is my salt water. Add it gradually to the mixture. I don't use a lot of flour because I don't want too much dumpling in my pot. If you love a lot of dumpling, then you can put a lot of dumpling in your pot. But I don't like a lot of dumpling.
You're not using cornmeal with this one?
Yes, I'm using cornmeal. I had some cornmeal as well. If you put too much water, it's gonna get soft. So it's best you add your water gradually so it don't get out of hand. If it do get out of hand where it gets too soft, just add a little more flour to it and it will be good. Alright. I purposely let this one very soft so we all see if the water get out of hand with it while you're doing it. See, it's too soft. It's gonna stick on your hand like that. So I'm just gonna add some flour to it and I'll show you how it looks after I had the flour. So I let it get soft so you can see it's very soft and it's gonna leave sticking it on your hand. So if you happens to pour too much water in it and it get out of hand, just add a little flour to your mixture and it will just gradually comes back. Okay. Okay, I told you earlier that I gonna let it get soft. Now I'm adding some flour to it. I'm gonna fix it. See, it's coming back. Just a little flour, not much. You need your dumpling. See? Alright guys, I fix it. It's not so sticky anymore. See? Just bring it like this. When you do your dumpling, it doesn't matter what time you put it in. You can put it in with your other ingredients like the carrot, the chocho, and the Irish potato, because the dumpling cannot mash out. Okay, so it doesn't matter what time you put it in. You can put it in, that's the right time, because it gives it time to boil. Okay, so you don't want to put it in last minute, and when you think it is ready, the dumpling tastes raw. That not go nice. So put it in with your chocho, your carrot, and your Irish potato. And if you have yellow yam, I don't have yellow yam this evening. Some people put yellow yam, some people put sweet yam, some people put renta. Whatever yam you have, you can put it along and just put all of those stuff in at the same time. And then you just cover, get your scallion in your thyme, and you put it in your pot and you cover it and let it simmer. Simmer. It's my spinner. If you are making a big pot, you can make round dumplings. But for my little pot that I'm cooking, I don't want no round dumpling, I just want spinners. But I'm showing you how to do the round dumpling. And then you just roll it and you press it. Okay? Nice and smooth. But guess what? I want my spinner. Spinner. Okay, I'm checking on my pumpkin to see if it's ready. Yeah, so there's it. I'm gonna test it. Yeah, it's soft, so it's ready. So I'm just gonna use my spoon and crush it out so it gives me that yellow look. As I told you earlier, some of the pumpkin is very dry. This one is very dry, so you have to crush it. So if you don't crush it, it's gonna take forever to mash out, so you can see the color of your soup. And guys, always have some boiling water on your stove or in your kettle, so when the water boils down in your pot, you just add some boiling water. Don't add cold water to your pot. Always have boiling water.
Why? Because it's gonna slow it down.
No, My parents used to say in olden days, they said, had good chef always have boiling water on his stove. So if anything, he just had the hot water to it. Don't have no cold water. It's just gonna slow it down, and it's not gonna take a while to start bubble again. All right. This pumpkin is not that rich. You know, some pumpkin, it has that rich yellow color, but this one is not so rich, but may they work with it? Because it still have that, you know, you have some rich pumpkin when you look the pumpkin soup I say one. So with this one, you know, everybody crochet out so we can get that. You get what I mean? You understand me? And here's my chocho and my Irish potato. So I put it in. So the rest of pumpkin will just mash out when this is being cooked. As I said, if you have your yellow yam, you can add your yellow yam to it, or if you have cocoa, you can add cocoa to it. If you have sweet yam or negro yam or whatever white yam you have, just add it to your soup. Putting in my pepper in my pot, and I'm gonna get my thyme. I have my thyme. I had my thyme. I'm cutting up my scallion fine. Some people beat it and put it, and then afterward have to take the scallion out, the stringy. But for me, I just cut it fine and let it boil out. So it just, while it boils out, it just dissolves in the pot. So you don't have to think about taking up the string of scallion. You can only take out the thyme when you're finished, because you don't want to have the thyme when you drinking your soup, the thyme just popping up in your mouth. So I cut up my scallion very fine in my soup so it dissolves. This way you won't have any scallion too.
So just a refresher, what's the method of cooking soup sequentially?
Okay, basically make sure your meat is properly cooked.
So that goes in first?
Yeah, because it depends on the type of soup you're cooking. If you're cooking like the pumpkin soup, you can have your meat and your pumpkin. If you're putting corn in it, you can put your corn, because some of the corns, they are very hard. So you can put your corn first and then add your meat, add your pumpkin, and you half cook make sure the meat is half cooked. So when you add the other ingredients, then it will just automatically finish cooking. And then you add your scallion and your thyme and your noodle soup, whether cock soup or soup it up, chicken noodle or whatever you put. You add that last to your pot, because you don't want to put it in too early and the noodles go to the pot bottom and start burning and all of that. So it's a little tip, guys. When you put the noodle in, make sure it's been dissolved. You stir your pot, or you make sure that the noodle doesn't sit one place, because it will just get lumpy and you'll think it's been dissolved. But once you put it in, just stir your pot so that the noodle spread evenly in your pot, because you just pour it and close it down, the noodle might just lump up, and when you think it's dissolved, it don't dissolve. So that's a little tip. Okay, thank you. You see how my soup is thick and nice? It's very rich. Look at it. See that, my girl? Yeah, it's very rich. So now that the noodle is in, you're going to turn your flame down on low and cover your pot and let it simmer. Don't have the flame up too high because you don't want your soup get burned. Okay, so you turn it down and then
Isn't that hot? You just always just hold it like it's not hot.
well, maybe because I'm used to the kitchen. I love the kitchen. Yeah, make sure you turn your flame low because you don't want your soup to get burned. So have it on low flame and let it simmer. Sometimes when I lift the pot cover, there was a little girl once, she said, "Do you have iron hand?" I said, "No." But once you're in the kitchen and you're used to be in the kitchen, you can just lift it and put it down. It won't burn because you don't have it for a while, but you can just lift it off and put it down, and it'll be good. But if you are not used to the kitchen, make sure you either use your pot holder or a towel because you don't want to get burned. And if it burn, you're gonna drop the pot cover and mess the whole place up. You don't want to do that. So the best thing to do is use your towel or your pot holder and gently lift your pot cover. Thanks guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to Miss Valrie Can Help. I'll show you the end product of my pumpkin soup as soon as it is finished. Okay guys?